Hello and welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV guide. It has been more than 1 year since I actually made the last video for this series, and it was only the second part of it. There were some reasons why I stopped playing it, but to cut it short, basically I was not in the mood to make more videos on Final Fantasy XIV, but things have changed, so at this point I will go ahead and continue with the guide. This means, first off, because we only talked about character creation and the trial in the first 2 videos, if I recall correctly, and that was also still in the Stormblood expansion of the game, whereas now we are in Shadowbringers. So things have significantly changed, even for people who start a new game at this point. And this will also mean that once we have a new expansion, things may not be working as they work here. So please keep that in mind. It's only accurate for the time being of a certain expansion or a certain patch of the game even. Anyways, let's get started. First off, I wanted to play a tank because tanks had pretty much the fastest queue time in the game, but in Shadowbringers we got a new tank, a Gunbreaker, which is the 4th tank, whereas we did not get a new healer. This means queue times for healers should usually be faster, and that's why I'm starting this guide as a Conjurer, which is going to become a White Mage. If you want me to see a different job to do this, maybe going through with a DPS, which is available in the Realm Reborn, please let me know. I can make changes to this guide accordingly. Also, very important, we are going to skip all cutscenes. The reason being is that this is not going to be a full playthrough. It's basically a guide for people who are new to the game and want to see what they can do and basically what's available and how you can get up to the Shadowbringer expansion as fast as we can, while you can decide for yourself if you want to enjoy the story or not. I would recommend to go through the story because it's actually quite decent, depending on the patch. I mean, there are some things which are not as good as other things, but basically the story is very good. If you do not want to read and watch through the story, I would at least inform you to consider to purchase a story potion. Basically, if you go to Final Fantasy to the Mark Station, you can purchase various items, also a level potion or a story potion, and the story potion should let you skip all the events of the story up to the beginning of Shadowbringers. Basically, then you can quickly get into the end game if that's all you care about. So basically, if you saw maybe some raids of the game playing other MMOs and you're like, yeah, I want to do that too, then you can definitely consider it. If you want to play at your own pace and learn the game as it's intended to be, I would still recommend to go through it, because even though this content is like 7 years old at this point, the Realm Reborn basic game, the vanilla game, there is still so much content that people play here every day because they are more or less forced to do it while leveling other jobs or getting certain bonuses, and also so many new players are getting into the game frequently. So you definitely do not have to worry that all content will not be played. There are some certain fights which are not as common anymore, that for sure. But going through the main storyline, you will not run into any issues really. Okay, once we're able to actually control our character that we have designed, we can choose if we want to play with controller or mouse and keyboard. This is also available on the PS4 version. You can connect the keyboard, you can connect the mouse and the keyboard on the PS4. You can even swap it, so even if you say you want to play with controller now, as I'm gonna do, you can still swap it later on. And the same goes for the PC version. You can play it with controller or with mouse, whatever floats your boat basically. This guide will be focusing on playing on a controller, so this means any extra input on how to target enemies or how to do certain things I will be explaining as we go. But I'm not gonna talk about how it's working on mouse and keyboard because I only played on a mouse and keyboard once or twice, I believe. What I would recommend when we start the game and once we're able to actually use the menu, I'm guessing you're playing it on a PS4, you can press the options button and then you throw up this main menu. If you go over to system and then to HUD layout, you can change certain things. This is something you may want to do later as you go through the game and see what annoys you or what does not annoy you and what you want to be bigger and what you want to be smaller. But since I'm playing for a longer time and have a few things changed on my display, I want to do it similar here. So basically, if you click on one of those parameters and then use the right stick, which is also R3, you can change the size of it and also move the right stick to move it up and down. Yeah, you may not want to change those displays right away, but you can definitely do so later. I'm just gonna show I'm gonna do it like, for example, the crossbar. I like it to be a little smaller because I don't need those icons to be that big, and making them smaller, it takes up less of your screen. Also, if you use the shoulder buttons L2 and R2, you can actually use those different abilities. It also says it on the crossbar display, as you can see. Right stick is for moving the camera around. If you hold L1 and moving the right stick forward or backwards, you can actually zoom in or zoom out. And I would highly recommend to zoom out the camera, at least for doing actual content, because else you won't be able to see all the AoEs. Also, if you press R3 while moving, you can go in first person, but that's something I would not recommend. When this question mark appears, it usually means that something new in the game is going to be explained to you. Basically, what you then have to do is use your touchpad, press on it, and the finger icon will automatically go on it. Then you press X and you get a little more information about it. Like for this one, we get initiating quests. For new quests, you always see NPCs with an exclamation mark above their head. If you click on it, then again we get this information from the question mark. On the right, if you talk to anyone in regards of a new quest, you will always see on the top left the level of the quest, basically which level you have to be to complete it. We see the name of it, which now is coming to Gridania, which is Gridania because I'm starting with a Conjurer. Depending on your starting class, you can start in one of the 3 starting cities, but we will reach all of them during the course of the story. Then under reward we see how much experience we will get, that is 50, and how much skill, which is 103. We also get a description about what we have to do, and if we press accept, we can actually start this quest. And often a cutscene starts. Like this, for example, is a cutscene that we cannot skip. So as you can see, usually if you can skip a cutscene, you just press circle and then skip cutscene. Yes, but again, I would highly recommend to watch through the main story at least. For a side quest, not so much. Depending on it, maybe it's more interesting or less, depending really on what it is. But yeah, and we get more information. Like for example, the duty list. Duty list displays on the right of your screen, and basically if you can already see the icon with the green icon next to the quest, it means you only have to talk to one more NPC to finish your quest, as it goes here, collecting rewards basically. So when you talk to somebody with the green icon, it means yeah, finish your quest, talk to them, accept that you finished it, and there you go. And then it looks like this. Reward, if you press complete, you will get the experience and the gil. If you actually press decline, then you have to talk to them again, so there we go. And the quest complete is always what you will see once you finish a quest. And main scenario quest. This is something they implemented in Stormblood. I actually forgot in which patch, but on the top left we can see next main scenario quest, and this is really important because in the beginning people sometimes got sidetracked and they forgot how to continue with the main story quest if they didn't play for too long of a time, or like when a new patch started or whatever. So now we know, hey, if you get lost, and also this is the icon for new main story quest. This is also important. This is always the icon for main story quest. This is the icon for quests that have additional content that you can unlock during them. But yeah, if you press on the next main scenario quest on the top left, where it now says close to home, we always get the name of the newest quest, and we will find the location of it basically. So that's pretty decent. So if you stop playing for a while, you can easily find your way back into the game. It will just open the map. You can move your cursor around with the right stick and just find the location where you have to go. While we're moving around, always keep your level in mind. Like right now, we just started, so we're level 1, but we want to continue with more side quests as we go to make sure that we have the appropriate level that we need for certain main scenario quests. And also here we can see we get a few more rewards, for example those 10 wind shards, which will be important for crafting. That is something I want to do during this guide as well. And as you can see, just taking the quest that already triggered the complete your quest on the east of the map, but we will do that soon. First off, this is also very important, aetherytes. Always touch them, make sure that the attuning loads to 100%, because then you can actually warp yourself. We will talk about warp a little more later. And also return. Return is a spell that you can use every 5 minutes, and basically you can return back to your hometown with that. You can also change the aetherytes where you want to return to, but it is a free warp basically. Also the smaller aethernet shards, you always want to touch them because basically inside of a city you will be able to warp between them, so making basically a lot of shortcuts here. And always talk to the people to finish the quest because the experience is worth more while your level is lower, right? And using items. Once we have our first items, the game will actually tell us, hey, how to use items. We can do that by going on the option button, and then we click on character and inventory. There are our potions. We use the square button, and then we get a few sub-commands. We want to use set to hotbar. We could actually use it, but yeah, let's put it to hotbar, and then we can basically decide where we want to put it on a hotbar. I put it on the right directional pad on L2, and basically if I use that button, I can use a potion during gameplay. I don't have to open my inventory, so that's kinda neat. But yeah, also, as you can see here, there's old and new Gridania. The old hometowns, due to the fact that the game was also going on PS3 and load times and etc, they made it so that those hometowns are split into 2 areas. And always talk to the people who continue your main story quest. For this one we have to give somebody an item. We just click on it, or if you go on the grayed out item by item request and press square, the game will automatically tell you, hey, this is the item you want to give the NPC. And then just press X, and there you go, handover. Might as well take another quest as we're at it. And continue with your Ethernet shard. What is important though, within this guide I want to make sure that we reach level 5. I will try to make this one for level 1 up to level 5. And here, as you can see, there's an Easter festival. This is something that is seasonal in this game. Depending on the time of the year, there will be different events taking place in the hometowns and also in other parts of the world. For this one, we could get a bunny outfit if we really want to, but we have to be level 15, so I cannot do it right now. If I am fast enough with those videos, I can put this one into the guide if you really want to, but I don't know if we can have the time for it. Also, as you can see, top right, the game tells us the server time, the Eurasian time, then the server we are on, which is Shiva, and the Mughal Maid. I have 60 minutes because I was playing this for a longer time, and also you get different rewards while playing the game for a longer duration of time. And basically I just want to grab all the items the Final Fantasy XIV staff was giving to me for free for playing, or for like early access of different expansions and so on and so forth. Yeah, once we have collected all of them, there's one item in particular I want to use. Both of them actually, either the Alamigan or the Aetherite earrings. The Aetherite earrings, basically the effect of them is the same, just that the Aetherite earrings are a bit better. They give you more experience earned by 30% up to level 70, so with these we will be leveling even way faster. So I probably want to keep those earrings up until I reach level 71 on this character. And again, make sure you touch all the Aethernet shards. Since I'm playing Conjurer, my main story quest will continue over here, which is the Conjurer Guild. This will also be dependent on which class you're actually starting the game with. Because the game tells you, hey, you're a Conjurer, so make sure you actually start with the Guild of the Conjurers. This is important because each 5th level that you get will give you a new quest on your Conjurer Guild up to level 30. After that we can do different jobs on our actual job that we will unlock. We might as well take this quest because it's for level 3, we are still level 1, but doing this one will actually make it easier to level up to level 5, which is the intent of this video. And as said before, always continue with your main story quest, grab the experience, but right now, for example, if we want to take this quest we have to be level 4, so we're gonna go ahead and grind ourselves up to level 4 with the 2 open quests that we have. And we're mapping the realm. This means you reached a new area. This will always give you a little more extra experience, and that is something you want to do definitely. But we will go through the entire map of each entire city and area as we go through this. Anyway, you see those icons above the monsters? Those are some that we have to kill for a quest. So that's what we want to do. We could use auto combat, or auto attack, but that is something we don't want to do. Instead, since we are a Conjurer, which is a caster, we can use stone right over here. Just press R2 and circle, aim for your enemy. This is something you can either aim for your enemy while using your touchpad and then clicking on the enemy like with a mouse basically, or you just draw your weapon and then you press left or right on your directional pad, and that will let you toggle between different monsters. Yeah, and they can't really hit us too hard, so there's nothing to worry about, and we will get a few early levels quite fast, already level 2. And yeah, binding items. Basically, binding of items is once you get experience while you're wearing something, it will be bound to you. This means you cannot sell it to other players anymore. And we got a new ability, Cure, which can heal us. But yeah, I quickly went through all those enemies, as you can see, to finish those 2 quests. If you get this icon, it means yeah, you finished it. And also on the right you can see the Essential Oil and Way of Conjurer. Those are 2 quests I can hand in right now. We had to kill certain monsters to get those items, give them to the NPC, and then in this point we can take a reward from the NPC for completing this quest. We can either take arm gear for the Symbols of War for any, or some gil, and usually if I don't like the items, the rewards that we could get, I just go with the gil to sell it, because that will give us a little more gil. Like as you can see, those items sell for 3 but those for 25, so it's a little more. And if there's only equipment that you really don't want at that point, just take the gil, it's my advice. And here we get a food item. I will talk about food items later, but basically they're gonna give you some more experience. And also the hunting log, this is something very decent to grab early experience. To go through it, you just go on logs, then on hunting log, and then you can see which monster in which area you have to kill. Usually it's 3 monsters of each, and when we finish that we get a lot of experience, so that is something we want to do over the course of leveling. As you can see on the top, we will get 2500 extra experience if we kill all of the first rank. This should be not too difficult. I'm pretty sure we're gonna do this in the next video. And each of them, if you like, only continue with one of the rewards, you already get some experience. And yeah, we are level 4 now. This did not take too long. We can take the next main story quest. And for that one, we actually have to report it a little further outside. For this one, we have to walk all the way to Central Shroud. So we're gonna leave Gridania again and walk all the way to finish this quest. And there we go, we get another 11 wind shards. And this actually boosted us to level 5, which means we can do the next quest on Conjurer, and we can actually do the next main story quest, which we have to be level 5 for. For the next quest we actually have to gear up. This will not be too difficult, but we will definitely do this in the next video. I'm trying to keep those videos shorter, so I can produce more and like more organized videos for you within this guide. So next time we will be leveling from level 5 to level 10, and we will continue with the Conjurer Quest as well. If you have any recommendations or you want me to do another Disciple of War for the main story quest, like play a different class, let me know. I can still make changes to it. I have not recorded too many beforehand, but I'm actually gonna try to show you at least one other job and how to like swap between jobs and level a different one. And also we're gonna go through gathering and crafting, so don't worry, I'm gonna capture all of this in this guide. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If things go well, you can expect the next video in about 1 week going up. This means please stay tuned, and I will read through all the feedback that you give me in the comment section. Again, thank you so much. Thank you again for your patience, because I know it took me a long time to actually continue with this one, but I am hyped to continue. Alright, thank you so much guys. Have a wonderful day.